The conditioned soul is sometimes attracted to the little happiness derived from sense gratification. Thus, he has illicit sex or steals another's property. At such a time, he may be arrested by the government or chastised by the woman's husband or protector. Thus, simply for a little material satisfaction, he falls into a hellish condition and is put into jail for rape, kidnapping, theft, and so forth. In this verse, Shukadeva Goswami is now talking about vikarma. Vikarma means actions which are against the principles of Vedic life. Now, in today's world, the culture has changed such that the norms of Vedic civilization are considered to be backward. And people think that these regulative principles are too much. They consider that illicit sex is just so called illicit sex. They think that any kind of sex is fine. They say, what's wrong? It is my body, and if two consenting adults do anything they want, well, how dare anyone criticize it? And they pass abominable laws which allow any kind of sexual activity between consenting adults. With the result, as Shukadeva Goswami has said, is inevitable. Maybe today's laws may not result in prosecution or punishment by the material government, but that's not enough for people to think that nothing is going to happen to me. Because by breaking the laws of Vedic civilization, one breaks a scientific law. These laws have been made by Krishna. The regulative principles have been made by Krishna in order for people to live a life which is peaceful and happy, as far as happiness can be attained in this material world. Of course, in previous verses, we have learned that even following all these laws of Vedic civilization will give temporary happiness, and ultimately, one must not only follow these laws, but go beyond them to render transcendental loving service to Krishna and his devotees. But if we transgress these laws, then the result we can see. Why are these laws made? Shukadeva Goswami has explained here about the law of illicit sex. Suppose one disobeys the law of illicit sex, then one may be arrested by the government or chastised by the woman's husband or protector. So this is what happens. Illicit sex. So often when you read in the newspapers about how some woman or some man was murdered because his husband or wife knew that he or she had indulged in betraying the spouse, and therefore they go and kill them. So one way or the other, we find that there is so much of unhappiness in the material world. Even though very coolly people say that it doesn't matter, I can do anything I want. Actually, the reality in the material world is today there is so much of unhappiness. People want independence for themselves, but then the other party to whom they're committed, they get affected. And therefore, there is unhappiness caused. So that is why these laws of Vedic civilization are there. If we break the law of illicit sex, we cause unhappiness to others. Beyond this, of course, Krishna has talked about Varna Shankara, unwanted population. Apart from this, too much of sexual activity results in illnesses for people. And then the whole atmosphere is spoiled when one indulges in illicit sex. Even if the government has not punished you and no one has caught you, but the atmosphere of the world is spoiled when people have illicit sex. Therefore, all these things put together are the cause of increasing misery in the world, that people are indulging so much in these things. Not to speak of intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. Every one of these Vedic laws, if they are violated, cause more and more unhappiness in the material world. Meat eating is obvious. By killing animals, you're causing so much unhappiness to the animals, apart from all the huge pollution we cause with so much of blood and flesh and all the other remains thrown away, and all the water which is consumed by the upkeep and slaughter of these animals. Intoxication. Every day we read about how many accidents are caused by intoxication. So many people are put into misery because of these accidents. Or people are unable to work because of intoxication. And therefore, they are not able to produce, they are not able to earn properly. And by gambling, one loses one's hard-earned wealth and again puts people into difficulty. So every single violation of the Vedic principles results in unhappiness in this material world. And then next, for the next world, we'll be punished in different ways. Therefore, these laws should not be considered as something ancient. They're very scientific and they result in violations. And every devotee has to be very careful that he trains his family in this proper Vedic life, so that by following Vedic civilization and further by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna and his devotees, everyone's happiness is ensured. Hare Krishna.